Palestine. The name itself evokes a deep and enduring pain, a wound that has festered for generations. It is a story of dispossession, occupation, and a relentless struggle for basic human rights. For Palestinians, it is a daily reality of checkpoints, home demolitions, and the constant threat of violence. This is not a conflict, it is a humanitarian crisis, a slow and agonizing death by 1,000 cuts. This is the truth about Palestine, a cry for justice that the world must hear. This essay is a testament to the resilience of the Palestinian people, a people who have endured decades of oppression, yet refuse to be silenced. It is a call to action, a plea for empathy and understanding. For too long, the narrative of Palestine has been distorted, manipulated to fit political agendas. It is time to listen to the voices of those who have suffered the most, to bear witness to their stories of loss, resilience, and unwavering hope for a just future.
1948. A year forever etched in the Palestinian collective memory as the year of the Nakba, the catastrophe. Over 750,000 Palestinians were forcibly displaced from their homes, their lands seized, their lives shattered. Villages were razed to the ground, their names erased from maps as if they never existed. The Nakba was not an accident of war. It was a systematic campaign of ethnic cleansing, a deliberate attempt to erase the Palestinian people from their homeland. This historical trauma continues to haunt generations of Palestinians. Families live scattered across the globe, carrying the keys to homes they can no longer access, clinging to fading memories of a lost paradise. The right of return, enshrined in international law, remains an unfulfilled promise, a constant reminder of the injustice that lies at the heart of the Palestinian struggle.
Imagine a life where your land is constantly being taken, where concrete walls and barbed wire fences slice through your fields and olive groves. This is the reality for Palestinians living under Israeli occupation. Illegal settlements, a blatant violation of international law, continue to expand, consuming Palestinian land and resources with impunity. These settlements are not just houses, they are symbols of oppression, constant reminders of the Palestinians' dispossession. They are strategic outposts in a calculated effort to fragment the Palestinian territory, making a future Palestinian state geographically impossible. Each new settlement, each home demolished, is a nail in the coffin of the two-state solution, pushing the region further away from peace and closer to the brink of perpetual conflict. Gaza, a tiny strip of land densely populated and under a crippling blockade for over a decade. This is not a conflict zone, it is an open-air prison, where over 2 million Palestinians are trapped, denied basic necessities, and subjected to recurring cycles of violence. Imagine living without access to clean water, electricity, or proper healthcare. Imagine raising your children in a place where bombs can rain down at any moment, where there is nowhere to seek shelter, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. This is the brutal reality in Gaza, a humanitarian catastrophe unfolding in slow motion. The international community's silence is deafening. The blockade is not just a political act, it is collective punishment, a crime against humanity. Every day the siege continues, innocent lives are lost, children die from preventable diseases, and the hope for a better future fades a little more.
Behind the statistics, behind the headlines, are real people with real stories. Stories of families torn apart, of children robbed of their childhoods, of dreams shattered by the brutal realities of occupation. Meet Fatima, a young mother in Gaza who lost her husband in the last bombing campaign. Her eyes, once filled with laughter, now reflect the deep well of sorrow she carries within her. Listen to Ahmed, a teenager in Hebron who has witnessed more violence and death than anyone his age should ever have to endure. These are not isolated incidents. They are the everyday experiences of Palestinians living under occupation. These are the human faces of the conflict, the stories that must be told and heard if we are ever to understand the true cost of this enduring tragedy.
Section 6, The World is Watching, Media Bias and the Palestinian Struggle. The conflict is often portrayed as a complex issue with two equal sides. This is a dangerous fallacy. There is an occupier, and there is an occupied. The power imbalance is undeniable. The media, often complicit in perpetuating a skewed narrative, focuses on Israeli casualties while minimizing Palestinian suffering. Palestinian resistance, a legitimate response to decades of oppression, is often mischaracterized as terrorism, further demonizing the victims and legitimizing the oppressor's actions. This biased narrative perpetuates a dangerous status quo, allowing Israel to act with impunity while the world turns a blind eye. It is time for the media to uphold its responsibility to report truthfully and ethically, to give voice to the voiceless, and to expose the injustice of the Palestinian plight.
Section 7, a global call for justice, international condemnation of the occupation. The international community, while often slow to act, has not remained entirely silent. The United Nations, Amnesty International, and Human Rights Watch have all condemned the occupation, recognizing it as the root cause of the conflict. Resolutions have been passed, reports have been written, and yet the situation on the ground remains dire. Israel continues to operate with impunity, its actions unchecked by international law or condemnation. The time for empty words is over. The international community must move beyond condemnation and towards concrete action. Sanctions must be imposed, arms embargoes enforced, and those responsible for war crimes held accountable. Only then can there be any hope for a just and lasting peace.
Section 8, Standing Together, Solidarity and the Path to Peace. Despite the overwhelming challenges, a glimmer of hope persists in the hearts of the Palestinian people. It is the hope that one day justice will prevail. It is the hope that they will no longer have to live under the yoke of oppression, that their children will inherit a future free from fear and violence. This hope is kept alive by the unwavering solidarity of people around the world who refuse to remain silent. From the streets of New York to the heart of London, from Cape Town to Tokyo, a global movement for Palestinian rights is gaining momentum. People of all faiths, nationalities, and backgrounds are coming together to amplify the Palestinian voice, to demand an end to the occupation, and to call for a just and lasting peace.
Section 9, A Plea for Humanity, Act Now for Palestine. The Palestinian struggle is not a distant conflict, it is a test of our collective humanity. It is a call to action for all people of conscience to stand on the right side of history. Silence is complicity, indifference is acquiescence. We must educate ourselves and others about the realities of the occupation. We must pressure our governments to hold Israel accountable for its actions. We must support organizations working tirelessly to provide humanitarian aid and legal assistance to those in need. The Palestinian people have endured enough. Their story is one of resilience, courage, and an unwavering belief in the power of justice. Let us stand with them in their struggle for freedom, equality, and self-determination. Let our voices join theirs in a resounding call for a just and lasting peace in Palestine. The time to act is now. The world is watching. Support Palestinian rights and share this video to amplify their voices.